Vinland Saga, Leif Ericson's significance, and analysis. The prologue of Vinland Saga has a number of interesting, powerful, and well-written characters. Askellad, Canute, Thorfinn, Thors, all of these characters move the plot forward, engage in brutal battles, and have some really compelling backstories. However, today's video is all about a less prominent character with an unparalleled narrative significance. Leif the Lucky, son of Eric. Hey guys, and welcome to another Vinland Saga analysis video. As I promised in my previous video on Canute and the concept of love, I will be analyzing more Vinland Saga characters throughout this summer season. In this video, I will talk a little bit about who is Leif Ericson and then analyze how such a secondary character can have a massive impact on the narrative. Who is Leif? Leif appears very early on in the story, in the 3rd chapter of the manga to be exact, and is actually based on a real-life historical explorer of the same name. Eric the Red, Leif's father, was the discoverer of Greenland and the founder of several Norse settlements there. In the manga, we meet Leif after he has returned from his expedition with his father, living among the villagers of Thorfinn's village in Iceland, with what seems like a Native American chieftain's headpiece and a pipe, and works as a merchant traveling between Iceland and mainland Europe. Leif's narrative role. The quest giver. Now, more than Canute or even Askellad, Leif is the character with the biggest impact on our protagonist, Thorfinn. Through his stories about the beauty of Vinland, he inspires a young Thorfinn to journey across the sea and escape the barbarism of his medieval society. I stood upon this new land and gave it a name. It would be known as Vinland, the land of pastures. Leif is the man who plants the seeds for Thorfinn's motivation and future character development. So when it comes to the narrative of the story, he is crucial for our protagonist's hero's journey. The call of the Homeland. Leif appears twice throughout the prologue of Vinland Saga. In the very first chapters before we even meet Thors or Thorkel or Canute, and once more during the final chapters of the prologue when he briefly runs into Thorfinn. So, you might ask, why did Yukimura, the author of the manga, decide to include Leif so late into the prologue, and for such a brief appearance? About 1.5 chapters. As soon as I read that chapter, I immediately recognized a narrative device that I had encountered in my years of studying French and English literature. That narrative device doesn't really have a name, at least that I know of, so I call it the Call of the Homeland. Now, the famous film critic and movie pundit John Campea has called it the Come to Jesus moment when talking about the character of Kylo Ren in the movie Star Wars The Force Awakens. So, by using this device, the author reunites the protagonist with a character from his past who offers him an alternative, another path, a return to his past self. Therefore, the hero faces a dilemma: continue down the same path or make a shift and go back to his old ways. Both Leif in chapter 49 and Han Solo on the Bridge of the Starkiller serve the same purpose. They tempt the hero to force him to make a choice that will seal his fate. Leif talks to Thorfinn about Iceland, his mother, his sister, his nephews, and he tries to get him to forget his rage-fueled quest to kill Askellad and come back to Iceland. For the very first time in years, Thorfinn has an actual choice. Leave Askellad and Canute and go back to Iceland. And yet, he chooses to continue his quest for vengeance. And the same thing happens to Kylo Ren. So you can see why I made that connection. And why doesn't Yukimura use Helga or any other character from Thorfinn's childhood? Why Leif? Well, because Leif is tied to Vinland. Yukimura is using him to remind Thorfinn and the audience of that elusive, beautiful land where Thorfinn's life journey should head towards. At this point, Thorfinn hasn't thought of Vinland in years, and the audience hasn't heard of Vinland for the past 30 chapters. So Leif is not only the quest giver, the inspiration for Thorfinn's journey, but is also the call to the homeland, forcing him to choose and craft his own future. So after making this video, I cannot believe how important Leif has been for the story. And it's a shame. Everyone talks about Askellad and Canute, and they seem to have forgotten Leif. I love the character of Leif. He's an explorer, he's full of energy and joy, he's funny, and he's a great example of a Christian role model in the story. He uses the money he earns from commerce to buy and free enslaved Christians. He's kind and warm with others. He's such a great guy. He's one of the few characters in the Vinland Saga universe that I would like to have a beer with. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see me analyze more Vinland Saga characters, like and smash that subscribe button. I have more Vinland Saga videos right here. You may also want to hit that notification bell if you want to make sure that YouTube will remind you of my next upload. Comment below which aspects of the Vinland Saga universe you would like to see me explore next. Until next time, fellow taco adventurers.